This is the CT Sports Talent Show. My name is Christopher Saunders, and I'm pleased to have on Ella Morgan, who's with me from West Haven. She is a girls basketball player, and she's the top performer of the week from the previous week back in 2023, which was about less than 24 hours ago. Ella, I appreciate you coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
It's great to be able to talk to the talents of the state, and obviously being able to have discussions with players beyond just the NVL, which I broadcast. And West Haven playing in the SEC, very, very good conference. Obviously, the teams that are in the conference, the Hamden rather, you think about Foreign and so on and so forth. Very, very good. Before we get into this season, I kind of want to reflect on last season because it was a very, very good season for the program. I know it was a short run in the playoffs, but kind of talk to me about how last season went for you and the team.
Last season we had a really good year. We did have a lot of seniors, which we graduated this year.
Mhm.
So it was a little rebuilding, but last year, honestly, we all um we really were just a team and we just did what we had to do. We all played a role
Mhm.
and yeah.
Now, for you, because last year you were a sophomore, this year you're a junior. So, talk to me about kind of the responsibilities of what you had this year and now being more of a elevated role player coming into this year.
The step from sophomore to junior, honestly, what I realized most is my leadership.
Mhm.
And I think that I really just stepped up in that part and I have more of a voice now. So I think in that's playing a big role, honestly, just like communication on the court and everything just really pulls together the team.
Now, is this your second year on varsity, your third year? Which one is it?
It's my third year in
Your
varsity.
third year. So you played your freshman year and then obviously so on and so forth. Okay. So kind of looking at it now, being in your third year at the varsity level, this being your third year being a junior, do you feel like the game is kind of not saying it's coming easy, but it's starting to slow down for you a little bit more? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I definitely say it slowed down. Yeah.
What is the one thing? Because obviously there's so many things you learn from every single season, but what are the things you learned from your freshman year and sophomore year that have made it a little bit easier for you coming into this year?
Honestly, I remember myself freshman year, I was so in my head. I mean, like I still get in my head, but I would just like let it like tear me up and just like shut me down. But like honestly, like coming from sophomore to junior, I really realized that it doesn't matter, just play basketball.
Now, when you say you're getting in your own head, are you like mentally saying stuff? Are you kind of maybe voicing your frustration, not at the players or the refs or the coaches, but at yourself because maybe you had a turnover, maybe you took a crummy shot when you could maybe had another dribble and gotten yourself in a better position. Is that the kind of stuff that you were doing and maybe still do a little bit?
Yeah, I'd say more of in my head.
Mhm. What are things that you've tried to improve on with that? Because I'm sure that's something that's been a focus for you.
I just really um I don't try to dwell on my past mistakes. You just got to move on and keep playing,
Mhm.
but you got to make up for it. You got to like if like I say I make a bad choice on offense, I'll just go back and get a defensive stop to get me going back.
Now, coming into this year, what were some of the things that you had to work on with your game to make sure that you were prepared for this season?
Um I had to focus on what we lost and try to make up for that.
Mhm.
So honestly, just it took the whole team honestly just to step up, and we really did. Like obviously we lost like good rebounders, and so like I I rebound now. Yeah.
Now, you say you rebound now, so you didn't do that in the past?
I mean I did, but like now like it's just us really.
Now, what do you mean by that, by just you? What do you mean by that?
Um
Are
like
you
we
saying it's
can't.
more like a team in a way where now it's like instead of maybe one or two players being the main
Yeah.
rebounders, now it's the entire team, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, hey, when you lose players like that, especially with some of the players that West Haven had last year, you kind of have to figure out, okay, what do we have? Well, we may not have two or three key cogs who can do all the work, and we're just kind of, being facilitators. but you have a
Yeah.
team that now like, okay, we're all going to do this. We're all going to do that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, like we can't rely
Mhm.
more on them because we don't have them anymore. So we just all really stepped up.
Now, this season so far, you guys are 2-3. You lost your first two, and then you were able to kind of win a couple in between. Then you lost against Middletown in the classic in the holiday classic game. But I want to go to the first two games. When you lose like again early in the season, how was that for the team early on? Because it's like rapid fire. You have
Yeah.
preseason and then it's right to the games.
Honestly, our first two losses, they were against great teams.
Mhm.
So the first game, I think we lost by 2. It was honestly just like our mistakes. Like I said, it was our first 2 games. Um, and I think when we see one of them again, we'll be better prepared. And we're just like, it was our first couple games. Like we were very nervous and everything. We just have to find our flow.
So in being able to find that, that flow, you're able to win a couple games in between that. So do you feel
Mhm.
like in some ways it kind of helped the momentum a little bit? Because again, if you lose a couple more games in a row after that, then you put yourself in a hole and then you're having to win a bunch of games in a row because again, you have to get to 8 wins to get to
Mhm.
the playoffs. So how was that being able to get a couple of those games off your belt?
It was good because we played cross and we really got back into it, just like simple fundamentals, like no, like not having as many mental mistakes and stuff,
Hmm.
just cleaning up our game really.
And with you being one of the leaders and going to the early losing streak, losing a couple in a row, how was it for you having to, like you said, becoming more of a leader this year? How did you voice, some of the not frustrations, but just like, hey, we can't lose any more 2, 3 in a rows now.
Yeah.
We need to get on a streak a little bit.
Really just motivation and practice. Like nobody wanted to lose another game. And
Mhm.
it was us. So we just had to work really hard in practice and just like um I can't really think of how to say it. We just really had to like put the team together.
Now, what were some of the things that you were doing during practice after those first two losses to kind of get things back on track? What were you saying? What were you doing?
Just being like reminding the team to be focused. Practice is not to come and joke around, give 50%. You have to come like it's a game and you have to practice like you're in a game and there is a crowd and you have an opponent and you need to want to get better. You don't want to just come to practice and do nothing.
Now, are you somebody during practice that is more vocal, or are you more like, I'm going to let my play and be like, this is how it should be done? Which one are you?
I'm very vocal.
Hmm.
Um, just really motivating the team, cheering them on,
Hmm.
but also showing them and like um what's the word? Authorizing when like to stop like playing around,
Hmm.
focus, or when to like do something what they should have done or something.
Hmm. Now, when you're practicing, because obviously game is different, but when you're practicing, what's like a pet peeve for you? Where maybe if it's maybe you're not rebounding in the proper way, maybe your shot's just off. What for you is kind of like a pet peeve, like you said, kind of mentally saying to yourself, like, can't have this.
Um, honestly, um, probably just like decision making sometimes.
Hmm.
Like right as I'll make a poor decision, I'll be like, oh, I should have done that, and then I'll just take that and learn from it.
Now, when you say poor decision, because the position, are you the point guard for West Haven?
No, I play forward.
Forward. Okay, so obviously you're not the one bringing the ball up more often than not. So when you say your decision making, are you talking about being in a certain position on the court? Are you talking about shot selection? What do you mean by that?
Um, Sometimes shot selection, but more of passing, I guess. Or I'll just like catch myself like not going to get the rebound and trying to get back on defense more.
Hmm.
So like I point that out to myself and I'm like, you need to do that. The opposite.
So almost as if not to say basketball IQ, but just the fundamentals. Like, okay, missed shot, let me get back. I don't want
Mhm.
to be caught ball watching, and then it becomes a 3-on-2, 3-on-1, and easy transition points for the opposing team.
Yeah.
Okay. Makes sense. Makes sense. I want to talk about the holiday tournament because I thought that was really cool to be able to play against teams outside of not just your conference, but also sometimes out of your class, right? I know
Mhm.
on the boys' side, they've done that as well, playing teams outside their divisions. On the girls' side, it's classes. Talk to me about that experience because has West Haven done this the last couple years?
We did it my sophomore year. I don't I want to say we didn't do it my freshman year, but I might be wrong.
Hmm.
So yeah.
How was it, with it being the second year, with the tournament? How was it for you and the team? What'd you guys learn?
Um, we really we learned that like it's like um I think just playing like outside of our conference and most probably like class,
Mhm.
it's just interesting because like when you play, like when we have our schedule, like oh Sacred Heart, we play them, Hill House, play them. Like we know their game, we know everything about them. But
Mhm.
playing a team like coming in, like we'll get like a scouting report, but we don't really know their game like that. So
Mhm.
I think coming into it and just like it's more of just playing basketball. I
Mhm.
think we enjoy that and it's good for us.
Talk to me about how much your head coach and the staff has meant to not just the team, but like yourself, as far as with your game and whatnot.
They really want us to get better, and you could tell that.
Mhm.
They really like they want to. Like they really take the time out of their day and they'll work with us if we like they they'll work with us if we like need extra help. Like
Mhm.
they just support us.
Is there a particular coach that has really meant a lot to you or the team in particular, or is it all of them?
Um really really all of them, but obviously Coach Moriarty, she really just means a lot to us.
Now, I have not seen a West Haven game. Is Coach Moriarty fiery? Is she a little quiet? I mean, how is she as far as the coaching?
She's fiery, but that's what gets us fired up.
Really? So I assume a good defensive stop or turnover, and she's going nuts in a good way.
Yeah. Yeah. The
Okay,
whole
okay.
team.
Or maybe even like maybe if you get like maybe like on the offensive side where you're just getting constant offensive rebounds and you get a putback. I'm sure
That's
she
what she
gets off her
loves.
seat, right? She gets crazy for that one, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, that's good to hear. I feel like anytime that happens, no matter even if it's a coach that's quiet and doesn't say much, he or she will just go nuts.
Yeah.
you know. But Ella, I really appreciate you coming on. A lot of fun being able to talk with you. Before I let you go, now we're in 2024. It's gonna be like rapid fire. Before you know it, it's gonna be playoff time. There's no more holidays to my recollection, at least that I know of. So now games are gonna be constant, right? You're gonna be
Mhm.
playing 3 games in one week. Depending on snow days, I heard it may snow over the weekend. You may end up playing multiple games over the course of a week where it's like, okay, now the attrition's being tested.
Mhm.
Talk to me about the run now with you being a junior and being one of the leaders, being able to be prepared for that.
We really just have to not like if we have like you said 3 games in a week,
Mm.
it's just business. Like you have a game, you play it, win or lose, you have practice the next day, and then you have a game the next. You just gotta move on. You can't dwell on what happens in the past.
Ella, I appreciate you coming on. Congratulations on being the top performer of the week for girls basketball. Best of luck the rest of the way, and hopefully you guys can be able to continue the success. And who knows, maybe you guys can make another run in the playoffs. I know it was a short one last year, but maybe try to make a little bit deeper of a run this year.
Yeah. Thank you.
Always. I'll wrap things up here in the CT Sports Talent Show. So until next time, stay safe. From our CT Standards Connecticut Talent, I'm going to try to find them all. Enjoy this day, everybody, and be well.